Hello. Hello.
Yo.
Let me see. I'll quickly check on here. See if it's.
I'll play some music if you want.
Yeah, nice. Good idea.
Cool. I'll skip out.
I'll click out here and see if it's. Much better. Like, it's made up the best quality. You can actually hear the music now.
Alright, and so is that just coming from your microphone?
So just leave my laptop here.
So there's no point at all using this.
You don't need to know. Just speak out loud with
Okay.
a bit of volume.
I'm going to make a note just to explain that.
Yeah, that's
I'm
perfect.
guessing we don't have to do the whole news.
No, leave that. So you got half an hour to finish. Sorry for the interruption of how do you pronounce the show?
A calendar.
Back to Daffyd now. Right, enjoy, man.
Will do.
It's a bit better, I think.
Alright, keep it updated, man. That was Slow Play by Tsunami and Alice Williams. Bang out again. Candace again is an up-and-coming artist called Allow, and she is just been signed to Inois, which is a new up-and-coming record label based up in Carnarvon in North Wales. And Allow is she's an EDM artist from the area, and this is her new song, Be Seeing You, from her new EP, Before I Go, Before Seeing You. Enjoy it.
Last time, what do your people want with number 7? All your letters in coming here. What do you people want with number 6?
That was a great song by Al, and this next song is called Lullaby, and it's from a band called Kalavi. Right, Kalavi are playing at the Fleece at 8 o'clock. On Sunday, on the 29th. So I have to just be the guy to say they do a lot for the Welsh scene. And they're a really, really cool heavy metal band. So come on down and let's come and support Kalavi. Here we are. There's a new single, Lullaby. What a great song. So that was Lullaby by Calabi, and the next song we have is We Up by Sage Tubbs. And Sage Tubbs has been a massive contributor to the Welsh scene in 2022 with his first song, Round and Round. And then this is his most recent single, We Up, which talks about his success. So hopefully you enjoy it. Got a Welsh drill for you guys.
Yeah. We up like crypto. We up like Bitcoin. We up like the Eiffel Tower. We up like Elon. Yeah. Yo. Listen. Yeah. Teachers used to hate and tell a boy hush, you're breaking the rules. Now they drive to work and see my calls on the side of the school. There's levels in this game, I'm never the knock, you're playing a game. Sun, hell, rain, active, trust whatever the day. Left, right, up, down, let's get right. Round these sides, you'll know what it gets like. More lights, I know, numbers, headlights, go for the game, I made for the headlines. Sage to stage, mission complete and built for a set, what it gets like. Monopad, left, no, yeah, end time, end game coming like. Be a bro like Ryan Ken, that's iron in fist, no iron in skin. One look, he's street fighting again. 7 shots, he writing again. Nobody rank higher than blood, that's FOE till I sit in the grave. If she for the streets, obey them, I throw Skywalker back in the days. Say talks on the TV and I told you low what's up. Looking in the mirror and it's telling me I'm up. She asking what's for dinner, I said baby girl we up. Get the steak and the lobster, tonight I'm feeling up. Say talks on the radio and I'm not coming down. All friends acting brand new when they hear the boys around. I love 54, this a village, not a town. Trust me if I die today, they're singing round. I don't know what I thought, you don't know what I've been through. Had man spitting in my drink so young. I beg you man, give me a reason, I'll send a man into kingdom come. Me and sis pray to the school, shedding tears at 7 a.m. Kid calls me a nigga, nothing, I talk too much, they call my mum ill. What kind of logic, who does the system profit? Pedestal, please come off it, or I'll tear it down and send man while I stack it, drop it. I don't care about no one, I count on my hands the people who love me. Don't know about sticks and shots, but the vibe my group and so damn prodigy. It's ugly, I hate it, the thing about life is you have to face it. I worked hard, became sick, I'm styling, you're basic. I'm top tier, I'm patient, I know that I have to make it. I'm checking, living off payslip, so hungry, I'm shaking. Say something on the TV and I told you low what's up. Looking in the mirror and it's telling me I'm up. She asking what's for dinner, I said baby girl we up. Get the steak and the lobster, tonight I'm feeling up. Say something on the radio and I'm not coming down. All friends acting brand new when they hear the boys around. I love 54, this a village, not a town. Trust me if I die today, they're singing round and round. Say talks on the TV and I told you low what's up. Looking in the mirror and it's telling me I'm up. She asking what's for dinner, I said baby girl we up. Get the steak and the lobster, tonight I'm feeling up. Say talks on the radio and I'm not coming down. All friends acting brand new when they hear the boys around. I love 54, this a village, not a town. Trust me if I die today, they're singing round and round.
What a great song. And this next one is called Crazy Love by Endaf.
Say that you'll always be mine, and say
you're my crazy love. Won't you be my crazy love? I know that you want me, I know that you care. The way that you're talking, the feelings are there. Baby, won't you be my crazy love? The feelings you are giving me, baby, I want you next to me. You is insane, you're rocking my brain. I can't bear the pain, please step in my lane. Baby, won't you be my
Say you're my love and your life I'll share.
baby, you astound me. You insane, I can't complain. Please try to explain, I'm going insane. Baby, won't you be my crazy love? The feelings you are giving me, baby, I want you next to me. Thoughts in my head, I'm lying in bed. I can't comprehend, feeling condemned. Baby, won't you be my crazy love?
I've been that you care. Say you're my love and your life I'll share.
Won't you be my, the feelings you are giving me? Baby, I want you next to me. You is insane, you're rocking my brain. I can't bear the pain, you step in my lane. Baby, won't you be my crazy love? Won't you be my crazy love? Won't you be my crazy love?
That was Crazy Love by Shehul Lendav. This is Cruising Gumbo by Talbot D2.
Hello, security. Pojęci gady, jadę ją stary winuci, bottom preta dorsey. Uci shara queer, uci and bone yeti, na uci non binary, uci and goh quen brown lady. Dat your match can eat, that your ash can see. Nechi, Royso I Gamri. Daddy, you think maybe don't die, then you're not a raya, and then we get out it. Funny, it will not be right. I'm facing funny, you know, they have to cry. Royso I Gamri. Daddy, you think maybe don't die, then you're not a raya, and then we get out it. Funny, it will not be right. I'm facing funny, you know, they have to cry. V, I know the song we got my queen. Preachers and Kia know that glitter girls are queer. You see, Hoka no la, that way the guy, Hoka ba, my anya, that's getting a right for him. Best in poverty, best in poverty, best in poverty. Achi, Royso I Gamri. Daddy, you think maybe don't die, then you're not a raya, and then we get out it. Funny, it will not be right. I'm facing funny, you know, they have to cry. Royso I Gamri. Daddy, you think maybe don't die, then you're not a raya, and then we get out it. Funny, it will not be right. I'm facing funny, you know, they have to cry.
Croeso I Gymru Gintara Bandito than that. This next song is Edie Crawford's Edith's new song called Heal Yourself, and I hope you enjoy it.
I've been outside and your mind's clear as day. Your mind's clear as day. Oh, and the sun does shine. When through your head feels to say I dream of joy to welcome. I'm out in the night. Feel something. Heal yourself. Heal You ever been outside? Feel the light on your face. Hey, can you feel the high from the world to the rain? How to get joy to your heart now in the light. How to really your beat and show every time like the day. Oh, yeah, feel something, feel yourself, feel something, There's always another day. There's always another day. One night after it's another day.
That is a banger, Edith Crawford, Heal Yourself. And the last song that we're going to be playing tonight, well, this afternoon, is going to be Spondigedig, which is Sasha Song's new single.
You're with Welsh speakers. Try to speak as much Welsh as you can.
Thank you very much. Diolch fawr iawn I bawb yn gwrando ar y calendar heno. Nesa mae gen ni y sports show, the birth show, sports show. Ag wel chi wedyn, see you next week. Big love. Ag just I fatha finish it off, di mynd I chwarae at gyfodi.
Come you get it rock, yo. Just don't here. I do it and grab no.
It's not there. You can see us.
Oh, yeah, I think he's. But no, it's your laptop. You go see one. You can take the rest of this one. Like, give you permission.
Right, it's a sports show now. So
Yeah.
hard transition.
Oh, we got that.
We're fucking live streaming, mate.
Where's the? Is it not
Is it
these
part of the
microphones?
stream?
Is it just-
No, it's literally just out loud.
Okay.
So you've got a bit of volume in your voice.
I'll project
Get a good
myself.
flow.
By the way, don't ever change that the thing down there because basically you want to put a speaker. If any of those get risen, it doesn't. It stops.
Yeah,
the
so
speaker.
keep everything down there.
Yeah, not
Cheers,
that I
David.
imagine. But you're not playing any music, are you?
No, we're
No,
just
we're
we're
talking.
chatting wax.
I'm
Chatting
gonna
for,
shot to take my hoodie off, so I don't expose myself.
I quite like the just natural transitions, truthfully. See yourself.
It's more real.
Fucking-
I'm not gonna be able to stop staring at myself. I think that's the
Nathan, I can't stop staring at you, so you know.
I might put the microphone in front of me anyway.
Just
Enjoy an hour of
Let's make ourselves see.
See you
It's
later.
like, you know, in the Talk 4 studio.
I'm gonna wear the
If you get the
headphones
videos of
anyway.
them coming out, it's like that. I'm gonna have
Jamie O'Hara.
yeah,
I'm gonna wear the headphones anyway, I think.
let's make it
No,
sound.
it's not the same. That's it, we're back. I'm
Do you want to
Nathan.
introduce us?
Oh, we're back in.
Probably the first time we get to see our faces.
Yeah, put a face to the
ugly
names. I'm Nathan, I'm joined by Matt Knight and Louis Hedgie. We're first sports show, and we've got a lot of catching up to do, don't we?
A lot of catching up.
Well, it has been a long time since we've last been in the studio.
How long ago was our last show? It was
Pre-World
Pre-World
Cup. Yeah, so pre-World Cup.
Oh no, actually, it was on the day of England and Iran, wasn't it? It
Yeah.
was that evening.
You're right, because I
So-
remember you made the notes hammered with your left hand about
I
player
couldn't
ratings.
see anything. I did player ratings. And
So it was England's first World Cup. What happened?
So
a lot has happened. since
21st
that
of
day.
November, so it was about almost 3 months to the day.
Yeah,
Right, where do we start? Should we go chronologically from World Cup
I should
onwards?
start World Cup. Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
you
yeah.
two are the heads of sport, so you guide us.
What did you think of the England performance? Should we start there?
Group stages. I mean, obviously we've spoken about the Iran game. That was
Mhm.
great. We don't need to go back over that for our regular listeners.
All three of them.
All three of them.
Hi, Dad.
USA was a bit meh, wasn't it? It was the
Yeah, that was our
0-0.
draw house. Actually.
It was like it felt like the Scotland 0-0 from the Euros a few years ago.
Oh,
I think it
yeah.
was
very
it was-
forgettable.
very forget. It was one of those games. It seems like a bit of the Southgate speciality, doesn't it? The middle game,
Mhm.
get your point, go on. Especially when you've got the easy group. So
Yeah.
by the time you're out of the group, I don't think anyone's getting hung up on the fact you drew 0-0 to USA. So move on. And the final game, Wales, that was good fun. Knocking the Welsh
really
out.
good fun.
Yeah, that was
Knocking the
good.
Welsh out of the World Cup.
Felt a bit bad for Gareth Bale, but aside from
A
that,
bit bad for Bale, but he is washed now. So.
I didn't
he's
feel bad
tired
for him.
now.
Yeah.
See his interview he did after the game about how he thinks he has a lot to offer Wales, and then he retires like a month later.
Yeah.
Probably
that's
just saw the golf
predictable,
course and
wasn't
then
He's got that bar open in Bristol now. Have you seen it? That's like a
Bar
golf-
11.
Yeah.
There's one in Cardiff, one in Bristol. It's
That's
a golf
impressive.
and Bale memorabilia themed bar. I'd
Let's
have
do
to
it.
go there for
Yeah, I'd go there for a little burst outing.
yeah.
First
Scout
outing.
it out.
Next burst social.
Next burst
You heard it here
social.
first, guys. So bar 11 Bristol.
Yeah.
Get your golf clubs ready.
How are you guys at golf? Any good?
Very mediocre.
Very
I
good.
can get around a par 3.
I can get around the course,
I can get
but
around.
I'll lose a few balls on
I
that.
Yeah.
can't drive. I
Yeah.
can't drive. As in
Can't
the
drive.
golf
Seatbelts
drive.
in,
Oh, I thought
boys.
you meant as in-
Seatbelts
No, no,
in.
I can't drive the
I was
buggy.
like,
Nah, I can't use a driver.
no, neither can I.
I
I've
just
got a good chip shot on me though.
See, I'm all right from distance. It's my short game. That's me. I haven't got a delicate touch.
Sounds like I'd make for an interesting game of golf. Maybe it's
Yeah,
go
maybe that's a
for
sport.
it. Let's do
sport-
it.
There's a new pitching part that opened up Ashton Court. You said you can do like the kind of
I
part.
can do par 3s.
Pitching part Ashton Court.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
there's a live stream on
Let's
YouTube.
live stream.
You can do that.
Now we're
so-
back into
Yeah.
YouTube.
our first live sporting event with the three of us competing against each other. Get some
That and
special
also
guests.
March 20th, tune into the fighter, and there'll be some Burst Sports commentary for you. Exclusive interviews.
And there'll be a Burst Sports fighter for you.
Yeah.
I'm showing it up and do the shadow boxing.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, show off. Yeah, this is the exhibition.
What's your stage name going to be? Have you had
Matt keeps your mum up all night.
Love it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Had that one planned for a while.
Thinking about that.
Since
That was,
since
I'm pretty
August.
sure that was a Nathan.
Yeah,
Nathan special.
I'm the Eddie Hearn. I'm making this fight. I'm
Lovely.
getting the opposition. Do you have any idea who you're going to be fighting?
You literally don't find out until
Yeah, so my mate Ed did it. He found out about 5 days before.
because they just try and match it up what they think is going to be the fairest match.
Yeah.
Weight, ability, everything.
Are you eyeing anyone up yet? Anyone you want
I
to call
want
out?
Nico.
Okay.
I want him now. He's
Nico.
a 6'6" behemoth who apparently pumped himself full of testosterone.
And
And he had 8 weeks of training in the last one, and then the guy bailed in the last minute, so he gets another 8 weeks. And I want to challenge. Anyone and everyone can get it.
You could do 2 fights in one night. You could do 2 on 1.
So let's gauntlet it. I'll be the
Okay,
guy in
so-
the ring every time.
What, like a Royal Rumble?
Royal Rumble.
Well,
Me
no,
versus
no,
everyone.
Oh, we can set that up.
Okay.
Possibly the best World Cup final ever.
Definitely the best one.
Yeah.
Final, I say.
I've
Arguably the
watched
most-
all of them.
I mean,
I think will probably go down in history as the most iconic game of football ever.
see, I got in a rabbit hole the night before the final, and I sat on Wikipedia and went final to final and looked at every game, every score. It just gets, I was just in the World Cup spirit. And one thing I noticed is, especially since the games of the 60s and 70s, the World Cup finals typically quite immediate, like
Mediocre.
high
Yeah.
standard,
Yeah.
not high
And
excitement.
that's the
Fi-
case
finals
of all
generally.
finals.
I mean,
Yeah.
look at
One of
Champions League when we got there against Liverpool. Both runs were
That's Spurs, by the way.
electric. The Spurs
Yeah.
run, yeah,
And
that's
then-
true. Actually. The Spurs run electric. Semi-finals, 3-3 against Ajax.
Yeah.
Liverpool Barcelona semi-final, the 3-0 to 4-3 comeback. And then the final was one of the worst. Like for two
Yeah,
reasons.
it is,
Possibly the worst
per-
game of football
on
I've
a
ever
personal level,
So
one of
bad.
a terrible game of
An
football.
awful
But on
finish.
a football level, neutral. appalling.
I did notice when I was in that rabbit hole a really interesting thing I picked up on. Only one World Cup final ever has been played that hasn't included one of Germany / West Germany, Argentina, Italy, Brazil, and France. Do you reckon you can name?
Really interesting. Need a U card. Hang on, I've got mine.
Yeah, pass it on.
Do that.
Sorry, that's
Yeah.
previous host Stafford head there,
Yeah, mate.
our head of interviews. Just needs a U card.
Finals are usually boring. I think that's because no one wants to play an open game.
Yeah, you're
If
too,
you
you're
look
too
at,
scared of conceding.
look at the 2 English domestic cup finals last year. Liverpool were both
well,
0-0.
penalties and
Yeah.
extra time.
People
both
are
nil
so
penalties.
people change in cup finals. They're so conservative
Mhm.
because you don't want to go behind, you don't want to concede, and you're too scared of messing it up.
Yeah.
That
It's
you
true.
you protect your own goal at the expense of challenging the other.
Should we give, as much as it paid, a quick nod to the England-France game?
Yeah, quickly.
Oh, yeah.
It was a painful game, wasn't it? That
The
was.
Mbappe plan works.
Yeah,
But they
there
have
was-
other
yeah.
players.
There was a lot of talk of the Mbappe plan in the build-up.
The
but I
Mbappe
think,
plan was just playing Henderson at right wing back.
yeah,
Like,
I think Southgate. I don't think anyone came out of that tournament with any blame on Southgate. This
I
time
would
around.
have said he could have made a couple of changes
The
earlier,
substitute,
maybe.
yeah, Rashford coming on late.
yeah,
Especially looking at the form he's in now, fucking hell.
and even the couple of games before that, he was
Yeah.
on fire at the World
But
Cup.
I mean, in that game, I don't think we were brilliant. I don't think you can say we deserved to win. I also don't think France were brilliant either. I mean, you look at their goals, you look at the fact Kane missed that penalty at the end. It was one of those games that can go either way, wasn't it? And we have Harry Kane as our talisman, and
Yeah.
sometimes that's going to cost you because he's not Mbappe.
He is a bit of a bottler.
He is.
He is, but also he's really good.
He's all right. We'll get on to him a bit more later. I think revelation of the tournament might have been Morocco.
Morocco,
and I do think there's an argument for Enzo Fernandez, and especially when you look at the context of the bids that are coming in for him.
Enzo was brilliant. I mean,
And when you
amazing.
think that is a man who had played 9 league games in Europe at that point.
Also, Julian Alvarez.
Yeah.
Julian Alvarez.
Those 2 who came out. Was it
I
River
just-
Plate?
yeah,
River Plate
yeah,
who came out
yeah.
last year?
The only thing I'd say is Alvarez had already made the big move to City. When you
Yeah.
go,
Yeah.
right, clearly there's something about this kid.
Yeah.
Because
But
City
then
signed
He
him.
was
You know-
talking the town. Everyone wanted him. I remember United were looking at
Enzo
him.
Fernandez, and again, Benfica, of course. But it's not-
Benfica's that stepping stone club.
But
where
it
if you
is-
get
it's
signed
not
by
one of-
Benfica, you know that there's potential for a big
He's
move.
got a lot of history, but it's not.
Yeah. No, it's
One of Europe's
yeah,
elite
yeah,
squad.
yeah. But no, those 2 coming out. I mean, but within a year of the World Cup starting, they were both playing in River Plate. So those two are probably for me the two breakout. I know, as you say, Alvarez has already made his move, but the breakout stars of the tournament.
And if we're talking
along
about
with some of the Moroccan players
at like weaker teams, and obviously we're all familiar with him, but McAllister stepping up to the biggest stage. From funny
thing, but as two Spurs fans here, though, pre-injury, it would have been Lo Celso in that role.
Yeah.
Lo Celso started in the Copa America. He was there.
Yeah, he was.
I wonder if he'll start there again.
Well, I think McAllister's probably claimed the spot now. You say we were all familiar with him, but McAllister was, I don't think before the World Cup many people were.
No one took notice.
They knew he played for Brighton.
Everyone knew he played for Brighton.
That McAllister from Brighton.
Yeah, and I think everyone knew he was probably a neat and tidy player, a Brighton player who's a decent midfielder, but I don't think anyone thought, that is like what he produced.
There are very few players.
Especially he stepped up in the final. The final, he was fantastic. Probably
Di Maria was amazing.
Then he got taken. It was a weird decision to take him off.
When he was on the pitch,
on the final specifically, it was somewhat the Messi v Mbappe show, wasn't it?
And it lived up to that.
It lived up to that big time. Mbappe, France they seemed dead and buried until the 80th minute. They were offering nothing. I was sat there almost flabbergasted at how little France were.
In credit to them, I thought Argentina were fantastic.
It was just
France Mbappe turned it on in the space of 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I missed both Mbappe goals.
That volley was outstanding.
Speaking of moments, though, I think the Emi Martinez save, 120th minute, or 120th minute is a top 3 save of all time. Given the context, firstly, it's a ridiculous save to stick your leg out, guess the right way. Actually, not a badly struck volley. Struck volley. Colomwani.
Yeah.
And to do that and then go on and win the World Cup in 100.
Arguably
the best save.
What do you guys make of Martinez's antics?
Post win.
And
too much, I think.
The whole whatever this was.
Yeah.
The comments about Mbappe, the baby.
I think it's when you get back to the coach and you've had a lot of time to digest the situation, and I get in the heat of the moment with the glove on the cock.
And the fans around.
And again, in the shootout, it's just mind game to try and put off.
I respect that big time.
When you get back when you get back in the parade and you've had 2 days to think, and you've called out, I just think
the Mbappe baby photo, whatever it was he did there, where in the parade,
it's too much.
It's too much.
Also, he did bag 3 past you.
Yeah, it is kind of shameless. It is kind of shameless. But at the end of the day, I think for Argentinians in particular, the World Cup is like they've completed everything they ever worked.
You see, Buenos Aires.
We had a mate who was in Buenos Aires.
Really?
In the final, on a year abroad, a guy called Ben Tarek, and it looked
amazing,
unbelievable.
I would say I think Argentina are one of, if not the most passionate footballers.
Oh yeah. All we've got to do is look at the Super Classico.
You look at the Boca Stadium, you look at Buenos Aires. They haven't won the World Cup since the 70s, 80s, 86 Maradona. I think that is, and Messi obviously being the reincarnation of Maradona. They obviously had the hopes on him. I think that moment for them.
And I think that maybe final thing, I am so happy for Messi because again, I've always been. For me, Messi Ronaldo has never ever been a debate. Truthfully, I stand by. If you know the ball, you like Messi more.
That probably
but that has put any potential.
I do think people doing the whole that Ronaldo has joined the Saudi League while Messi's winning the World Cup. Probably a bit harsh on Ronaldo considering he is
definitely is older.
Probably is older. I agree, but I think it's
the World Cup was kind of
also the performances that Messi was putting in the World Cup. It's not like he was a passive. He was the best. He won best player tournament for a reason.
Yeah,
it was either him or Mbappe who would have won it.
Yeah,
and they both could have.
Even in the final, I think I know Messi kind of phased in and out of that game, but ultimately in the big moments he stepped up and got them back in it. But yeah, what a game!
What a game!
And will go down as one of the best of all time, I think.
Definitely.
If not the best.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Ronaldo, I think the Piers Morgan interview had just been released when we did our last.
It was a sorry statement.
I think it was actually coming out maybe a day or two.
They've released the teasers, haven't they?
Yeah, and they hadn't released the full 90-minute cut.
Yeah, I haven't actually watched the full 90-minute cut. I refuse to because
I feel like Twitter tells everything
you get enough. You need to know.
Yeah. What was he thinking? Did you see his agent actually left him?
Yeah.
When he did that interview because he disagreed with him doing it.
I think it's he's a man who's been at the top for his whole life and he's all working to get to the top. And now he can't face reality, can he?
It's an ego thing, really.
His body's let him down, and he can't quite accept the fact that he's declining as a footballer. And if anything, I would say if he didn't do that interview, he'd probably still be playing in Europe right now, whether at Man United or whether at Sporting Lisbon. I think that interview kind of made him a player that no one wanted to touch.
It made him
unsignable.
Now, quickly, just if anyone on the committee or anyone is listening, could you quickly send in a message just about audio quality? Because I'm quite intrigued as to what Just Voices sound like as opposed to music. So if you're watching, just send someone in, please.
Sorry. No, I think with Ronaldo, if he'd have gone to Al Nassr and said, I am an old man, I can't play football anymore, I'm going to Saudi Arabia to get some money, everyone would have been fine. Hand your flowers and leave.
Again, the rumour that Messi apparently doesn't want to stay at PSG now as well. If he goes there, people be like, yeah, he's old, he wants to cash in.
It's just, it's fair enough.
He hasn't been seen on record talking about how he thinks he can play at the highest levels of Europe till he's 40.
In the Piers Morgan interview, I can't remember the exact words, but Piers Morgan made a comment like, if it was about the money for you, you'd be out in Qatar or Saudi Arabia right now.
And
he'd be like, yes, but it's never about the money for me. And a month later, he is out in Saudi Arabia.
And also just the fact that it's with Piers Morgan.
Oh, yeah.
That's what, and the whole kind of Piers Morgan arse-licking post where it's just, and apparently after a game, he texted Piers Morgan being like, this is ridiculous. And
it's just the worst.
He's not a popular man in the wide world, bar the GB News kind of avid viewers, and that has further probably been a bit of a detriment to this.
I mean, I've never been, as Matt says, I've always been a Messi man over Ronaldo man, but I've got a lot of respect for Ronaldo, always have, and it is a sad way for his career to come to an end.
It's going to tarnish.
I like it. I find it funny. I respect him. I dislike him though. So
I've always been very much. Messi is better, but I love the pair of them. I love I've always been Ronaldo was Mr. Champions League. He gave me, as growing up, I never kind of felt myself biased towards one or the other. I just the Rio Ferdinand, just enjoy it.
Just enjoy it.
That was me, and I've always appreciated Messi as a better footballer, but that doesn't take away from how much I liked Ronaldo. And I find it sad seeing him decline this way. It would have been better if he went to Sporting Lisbon and saw out his career there or something like that.
No, he's got a palace reportedly with a supermarket on his premises.
Well, and apparently they have changed the law just for him, where he's allowed to live with his girlfriend pretty much. Which you would if you're Saudi Arabia, to be fair.
He's got 5 cars with 5 different drivers. He's got 2 private restaurants.
I mean, just to mention, I can't remember the exact amount of money, but the most ridiculous contract.
It ends up being something like 1,200 quid a minute.
It's
ridiculous.
It is nuts.
It's to the extent where if you dropped like a 5 quid note on the ground,
it's not
you pick it up.
You've
made your money back.
And
something tells me, I don't know the tax rates in Saudi Arabia, but I can't imagine they're high.
No, probably not.
I don't want to make any presumptions on it, but I would guess not.
I think he's keeping most of that money.
That money's going into his back pocket.
Yeah.
I wonder what he's going to do with it.
I don't know. He's going to keep selling underwear and aftershave.
That's it. Boys underwear competitions on
Twitter. Send me your photos in the CR7 underwear. Has led to one of the funnier transfer sort of circles between Besiktas, El Nassr, and Man United.
Very rogue transfer.
And just something no one would have predicted pre-tournament.
If you'd have said a year ago that Weghorst would have ended up at United, Abubakar going to Besiktas to make room for Ronaldo at Al Nassr. It's as far as 3 players going to see 3 clubs going, and Weghorst being the one ended up at United.
I mean, on top of United, I do actually think Weghorst, considering you're clearly, maybe the owners are looking to tell you're not wanting to spend loads of money. I don't think Weghorst is a bad signing.
He's a good player.
It's risk-free as well. It's 3 million, I think.
Yeah, so it's a loan.
He's also a decent player.
He's a decent footballer. He gives you a focal point up front. I think Rashford would probably be better with being able to play off him as opposed to up front on his own. He probably offers more than Martial.
Almost definitely.
I also just raised the point to you in that his career path in just within 1 year is hilarious. Burnley to Besiktas to Man United within 8 months.
Also, not genuinely playing amazing at Burnley or Besiktas.
No, like again, he was
all right
at Burnley, and he was actually quite good at Burnley. But no one you go, why is no major team signed this fella?
It's probably that 5 minutes against
Argentina
in the World Cup.
You forget he was really good at Wolfsburg.
He also was good at Burnley. Burnley as a team.
I mean, also you've got a 6'7" striker who isn't immobile. He gets
Yeah.
around the pitch, he presses, he's got good.
Weghorst would have scored 30 in the championship.
He could easily be. I can see him easily being an Olivier Giroud type off the bench or good link-up
He
hold-up
seems
player.
to have the right sort of attitude to it as well.
He's happy to play his role where he is.
He'll listen to the manager. He's not greedy. He'll happily just make the runs, know the ball won't get to him. I like him as an addition.
On Man United, been in good form since the
restart.
Casemiro is pretty good. Rashford is probably arguably the best player in the league at the moment, or at least
since the restart.
Him, Saka,
Odegaard.
There's
a lot of goodness he could be in there.
But Rashford, I think he's hitting levels he's never hit before.
He's moving like a world-class player.
Yeah,
he's in terms of numbers, like scoring 9 home games in a row.
And also, just it's not so much just scoring against the likes of Bournemouth and Forest.
No, big moments.
He's been putting you on his back in big moments. I mean, I know you didn't win yesterday.
The goal was phenomenal.
The goal against City, he's got that aura about him when he's got confidence, where you feel like at any moment he could do something.
Well, the way I kind of look at it, and you can tell where it's just confidence in a player, is so often the Rashford of old, he's always very good at beating his man, beating two men. He'd get into the box or get into and it's not even that, he just refused to shoot. He would overdo it and he'd always take one too many touches. And now the goal yesterday sums it up where he shot as soon as he got a assist. And it caught Ramsdale off guard.
Yeah. It's a confidence thing. He's got his head up. He's got full faith in his ability. He looks unstoppable.
And he is, again, a player. I will actually admit he's been in average form for so long that I'd not written him off as a bad player, but written him off as he's never going to make it to quite the top level. And actually, it goes to show that how much, especially for forward players and probably goalkeepers, it's equal. Forward players, goalkeepers, confidence makes a world of difference.
He's starting to feel like with the Man United number 10 on his back, he's finally becoming the Man United.
He's grown into. He believes that when he shoots, he's going to score now.
I mean, on the topic of him shooting, his ball striking, his knuckleball ability, he can hit it so hard.
The strike yesterday was unsavable.
Brilliant, and the nutmeg on Party as well. Brilliant. I mean,
Saka's was quite good as well.
I think Saka crossed it personally.
If we talk Rashford, we talk Saka and Arsenal, which I don't want to have to do. But Saka is another player probably hitting another level this season again, putting Arsenal on his back.
Saka is amazing.
Odegaard as well.
Also a creative midfielder.
Odegaard was someone who I again like to play. Technically, he was very sound, but I thought lacked a little bit of conviction in his game.
A bit physicality.
Bit indecisive as well on the final third. He'd always be pass first, would never shoot, and sometimes wouldn't shoot what he should.
Well, he's Arsenal's top goal scorer.
And again,
wearing the armband.
I think he has really taken that armband and he's decisive now. He has conviction in what he does. In the final third, he goes, right, either I'm playing through or I'm going to goal, but I'm not just doing one. And it's leveled him up.
I think maybe the Arsenal move at Real Madrid, as a 19, well, he's there from age 16, but as a kid, especially with the level of quality they got in their midfield, you're never going to feel that value. The Arsenal move where he's come in and he's almost a big fish in a small pond. Which, I mean, Arsenal, I know they're top of the league, but he is the captain. He's the main man. He's now proving his quality. He's in that place where he's valued. He's the talisman almost, along with Saka. And he's showing the quality I think everyone always knew he had somewhere. I mean, he was one of those YouTube wonder kids from age 15, wasn't he?
Yeah, and then went to Real Madrid. They keep him for a bit, but he was never going to break into that first team. Went to Arsenal, and all of a sudden, he's a world beater.
I mean, I remember, obviously, Arsenal took him on the loan. And I remember when they signed him permanently the summer after, I was like, I think they were linked with a couple of other good midfielders at the time. Maybe someone like Houssem Aouar and Leon. And I thought, you know what, I'm happy to buy an Odegaard over that guy. I was like, and that's kind of your Prem-centric view, isn't it? You think, some French import is going to be better than a guy who's had one season in the Prem and hasn't torn the world apart.
And also, I mean,
now he's just...
I do forget, because he has been around, you can hear his name since he was 15. He's not old. He's still really young. 23, I think, 24. He's not in his prime yet. He's got a lot of time to improve, and that is part of the kind of he's just been around for so long because he was so highly rated at 15.
His Arsenal team is terrifyingly young.
It makes me very sad.
It's the worrying thing about the Arsenal team is that they've probably won the league this year, but even if they haven't,
they're not
the next 3 years.
But they are so far ahead of where they should be. And again, I really dislike Arteta. I think he's whingy and he's done a very good job.
He's done a great job.
And last season there was Arteta out going around.
I mean,
understand. I thought it was laughable that they kept him on when they bowled top four.
It shows and there maybe you can apply this to a lot of managers who have recently been sacked who maybe didn't get the chance. But it shows that if you persist with a manager who has a vision and give him the players he needs, you know, the sky's the limit. Especially when you got a good manager like Arteta. I mean, you look at, I think as a Spurs fan, instantly the Pochettino team of 2018-19. What could have been done if we gave him the time?
If we actually stuck with him, gave him the signings that he wanted.
Yeah, we could have won a league. We nearly did, and we spent no money whatsoever.
You think Arsenal? Sorry,
that's right. But they are, again, as much as they are kind of underdogs to Man City, they're spending money now. They're backing their manager. I know and it seems a bit more likeable because they're buying young players often and not these kind of big names. But they're spending a lot of money. It's not like they're kind of plucky underdogs who've done a Leicester.
They're spending about as much money as I think an Arsenal team that wants to win the title should be
spending. And it does make me resentful looking back and going, we were really close to something and we just never ever backed it.
Yeah. So who's next for Spurs?
Oh God.
I am Conte out. I think he's going to leave in summer. He might as well just go. My number one, I want Gallardo just because fun experiment. I just honestly, I'm at the point like I would like to see something different.
Yeah, something different.
I always love Pochettino, and maybe it is too soon, and I acknowledge it might be too soon. But I mean, we talk about when we watch the game. Yeah. I just want a warm hug from Dad. Yeah. I want just to pat me on the head and tell me everything's going to be okay.
I was brainstorming the other day a couple of, you know, when it's become increasingly evident over the last 2 weeks that Conte's time, if not. It's coming to an end in the next few weeks, is ending in the summer. I think that's borderline guaranteed at this point. So you start thinking, right, who's next? As you ask, where do we go next? And I was thinking what I want from the next manager. And I brainstormed a couple of things like good football, you know, willing to play young players, give them a chance, loves the fans. And Pochettino ticks every single one of those boxes. And if he wasn't a former Spurs manager who failed,
going for him.
He would be the obvious, the only option.
No, what we're looking for is a Pochettino region.
Yeah, we want Pochettino, just not Pochettino.
But I would happily have Pochettino. It's just at that point again. I think Kane can stay because he's just so good that why would you sell him if we could keep him? Apparently, he wants to go to new contract talks now. But Lloris, Dyer, Son, the rest of the core have to be gone. Or it's a completely new team.
I think maybe even get rid of Kane.
No, I think if you can keep Harry Kane, you keep Harry Kane because no matter how much money we have, we won't be able to sign a better player than Harry Kane.
Yeah, it's true. If Kane is sat in Pochettino or Levy's office saying, "Please don't sell me. I love this club. I want to stay." You're never not keeping him.
Do you think
everyone else
not an argument for ripping it out from the inside, build around
not when someone is quite as
Bentancur, Skip, and Romero? I think get rid of like the old Spurs.
I agree with the rest of old Spurs, but if you can keep Kane, we're not going to.
The players, I think of the players that need to, the old reliable fuck ups.
Yeah,
like it's Lloris, is Eric Dyer.
The fact that Dyer has been contracted to us since 2014. Eric Dyer is approaching testimonial.
Yeah, I mean, but Eric Dyer and Ben Davies. I saw this tweet the other day. Were squad players in 2015 under Mauricio Pochettino. Yeah, they haven't improved.
No,
and they are now starting players 8 years later.
Eric Dyer looked like he was going to be all right.
Eric Dyer looked like you tried to buy 50 million and we rejected it.
12 months ago he looked.
Oh, he had the little resurgence.
Yeah, when he was playing in the centre of back three.
Yeah,
he looked like he was.
He did have a resurgence,
and hence he got back into.
I will always say with Dyer, I like Dyer.
As a
I've
bloke.
always wanted Dyer to succeed. I like Dyer. He seems like his leadership qualities and, you know, the players talk about how his mentality is. He seems like...
He also seems to really actually love Tottenham as well.
But he is just... And when, as you say, 12 months ago, under Conte, when a new manager comes in, you give everyone a fresh slate almost. And Dyer and Davies, they looked like they were there to stay.
And I actually will stand by Davies as a centre-half, ain't a bad player. He's actually not... Whenever you look at our mistakes, it's never him. He's not a bad left centre-half.
Yeah.
Weak at left-back because the offers nothing going forward. Left centre-half is a good squad player.
I think over the last 2 weeks, Dyer and obviously Lloris, there's been a lot of publicity about how bad he's been.
Yeah.
But Dyer and Lloris have proven that, you know, new manager or not, they're not players
who can be
relied upon. And it is now time to just
and I mean, we have a lot of I'm not. There's no point talking about our fullbacks because it's just gonna make us sad. We don't want to do a whole show on Spurs.
Yeah.
You add into that, Højbjerg is fine, but if you're really challenging, Bentancur makes. When Bentancur was out, it showed Bentancur makes Højbjerg look a lot better.
Yeah, I will say so. I think with Spurs is you know the good players and the bad players. It's quite there for any football fan to see.
Sorry, continue. I should continue on go after.
Højbjerg, as Matt was saying, I think he limits, and especially in a two-man midfield, he limits how far he can go because he doesn't have the ability to take the ball, turn, pass. He only ever plays the way he's facing, which is really frustrating for
terrible ball carrier, which you really need and is essential in a two-man midfield.
I don't think Spurs ever progress playing two-man in midfield, especially Bentancur and Højbjerg.
Not the way football is right now.
They offer nothing in possession.
Bentancur does.
Bentancur, but as a duo,
Bentancur hasn't quite yet clocked. In the way Kulusevski's now clocking on, no one did for a while. In a few months, I think the rest of the league will clock on to how good Bentancur is.
Bentancur's brilliant.
He hasn't been.
I think he's a good player. I do just think him next to Højbjerg, they need another person.
I agree with that.
They need someone creative.
But I don't think you can argue Bentancur's back. Bentancur's very good ball carrier.
I just think,
but he's not a playmaker. That he's not going to play.
I've been massively of the opinion that until today, until this morning's random reports that came out about Kane's new contract, which was out of the blue thing. I've been massively of the opinion that Kane's going in summer, probably looking at around 80 million. The first thing you do with that money is go buy James Maddison, which is for me a realistic signing. Solves a massive issue straight away.
For what, between 60 and 80 mil?
I reckon after season Leicester are probably getting 50.
How long have you got left?
I don't know, but for me that is the first and foremost thing you do because Kane is a striker, but also he's our main creator. We need a Maddison-esque player. We need an Eriksen. We need an Odegaard. And for me, he is the most obvious thing you do.
It's true.
Well, yeah, he's out of contract, not this summer, the summer after.
Yeah, so I think getting 50 mil.
I think you got 50 million this summer on Maddison, and then you looked at Richarlison can be a number 9, but you probably
showed it for Brazil. Well, showed for Brazil. As a number 9, he looked good.
So in a way that if Kane said he wanted to leave, I don't think striker would have to be the.
It wouldn't be the
priority.
priority.
Probably need another striker anyway. Just
back up. I don't think it would be the priority.
Where's Troy Parrott? What's he doing these days?
A bit average by all accounts. He's now.
It does. Dane Scarlett's the new star boy.
Okay.
Troy Parrott's now 21 and playing at Preston and not scoring that many goals. So I think the Troy Parrott hopes are starting to fizzle out. I would say.
Yeah. He ever since he missed that penalty against Norwich. I think. Quickly, can we move on from Spurs? Because, as he said, it's very easy for it to come to Spurs.
Keep an eye on the time. It's been about 5-6 minutes. Spurs talk. I think that's
the last thing I'll mention is just Heung-min Son doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it looks like I don't know if it's mental or physical. It looks more physical now. Looking at him,
I think he's lost the yard.
I thought
he's lost a bit of pace.
And again, I think. People who don't watch Spurs week in, week out don't necessarily understand the ins and outs of everyone's game, which is understandable. I don't understand the ins and outs of every Man United player. Son was never actually great at link-up play. Anyway, he was all end product. He will get you goals. He finishes one-on-one. He scores. He always scores so far above his XG in every season. And when he's not producing the goals and assists, he offers nothing and looks a genuinely bad player.
Yeah.
Whereas Harry Kane doesn't score, he still looks mustard because he comes in, he's playing unbelievable balls out wide, he's picking it up deep, he's drawing men out.
Yeah.
Son without goals and assists offers genuinely he's a detriment to the team.
I watched Rashford and Martinelli this season and maybe they've got I'm not by no means am I saying Rashford and Martinelli don't offer anything other than goals. But the way they are blistering pace in behind, the most dangerous counter-attacking players in the league, right-footed left wingers, that's what Son's been for 6-7 years
you just
now.
Look at some of the goals he scored where he's picked up on the halfway line.
Also, when Kane comes deep and Son just burns.
Off his last man.
Yeah.
And
I think there's been... it does look like there's a physical lack of pace, or at least less pace.
Yeah.
I also think... in all his interviews, he goes, I'm trying so hard.
Yeah.
I actually think that's detrimental.
I agree.
He's coming to the ball because it's almost like he wants to get the ball at his feet and beat a man and hit it, but he
just
to prove himself,
losing it or
but
putting it off target.
It's not who he was. He seems to have stopped. I noticed in the Man City game last week, and Man City are the exact. I mean, Son scored against Man City every season for years, and they're the exact kind of game you'd expect Kane to pick it up deep and Son to be on his bike.
Yeah.
And every time Kane got the ball in the middle of the park, Son was showing to feet, which is not the Son we know. He should be on his bike behind Cancelo or Rico Lewis or whoever it is at fullback, getting in behind one-on-one against their centre-back, which is where he's most dangerous. But he seems to be overthinking it a bit now, lack of confidence.
And I saw it, doesn't want to be my last thing on this, but I saw a tweet from, you'll probably know him, Harry Brooks, often Spurs fan, has some really good analysis.
He knows what he's
has some really good analysis. And he said that Son is one of those players who so often is on instinct. You get players who are great finishers on instinct. Dele Alli for one, actually. But when you get time, you overthink it and you're not quite effective. Darwin Núñez, similar. That's why a lot of his goals have been a lot of Darwin Núñez's goals have been first touch or headers. And it's because that's on instinct. You're not thinking, and when you have time to think about it, you overthink it and then you get flustered, don't execute it the same way. Sonny is very similar to that, I think. He's quite often one touch, bang, in behind, couple touches, cross goal, finish.
Yeah.
And when he's there now, also, just a further element to kind of emphasise that is he's really good when he's in motion, dribbling past play. If he gets one behind, takes it on the run, he'll beat his man 9 times out of 10. As soon as he's stood up by a defender, he never ever beats his man because he's
not
there.
Good from a standing start.
He's focused and he's going, right, I have to think about what skill I have to do, where I have to shift my body to beat the man now. And he never ever beats the man.
How he's playing now
reminds he requires
Rashford.
More. Yeah.
He's playing a lot like injured Rashford would play.
It's just
confidence, and he's not playing to the best.
I think if Poch was to come in, for example, Sonny could go on a run, and everyone could be going,
depending on whether he's
fast permanent type.
Yeah.
Same way Rashford, change of manager, different type of role. Yeah, he's scoring goals again. He's one of those kind of players. Sonny has always been a confidence player. Every Spurs fan will know Sonny has always been a confidence player.
He's purple patch.
And this is just the biggest extent of it ever.
And I think it's the biggest extent, and it's made to look worse off the fact he's coming with his best season ever for us.
Yeah. I think he just needs a girlfriend, to be honest.
That's why he just needs to get laid.
Maybe his
dad just needs to let him get laid.
Yeah, if Son wasn't a virgin, I think he scores 30 goals a season.
It's the virgin in him.
He's back up.
He's got that virgin.
Right, I mean, I thought that's probably enough Spurs. We have done a lot of Spurs.
Right, let me raise a question. Has Haaland made Man City worse?
Haaland?
Yes or no? Firstly, just yes or no.
In the league,
no,
yes.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes. Again, I think it depends. Are we talking Champions League? Are we talking league?
Well, so far in the Champions League, they played Copenhagen.
True.
We'll go league because that's what we've seen most of.
Yes.
I don't think he's made worse.
Yes.
I think he's made them more predictable, more one-dimensional. And don't get me wrong, he's a very good player. He's doing exactly what is asked of him, which is just score. Every game I've watched Man City, when they started with a left footer on the left and a right footer on the right, and they are so focused on finding Haaland in behind or crossing in Haaland.
The start of the Chelsea game.
And they look really poor, truthfully, and very uninspired, very slow. They then, later in the game, switched to inverted wingers, right on the left on the right, and are playing more of the City of old and focus less on feeding Haaland, and they have looked infinitely better. That's not to say Haaland's a bad player, because he's clearly not. He scored 25 goals in 21 games, whatever it is. Ridiculous.
I completely agree.
I think he's just made them more predictable.
I'll quickly add on to what Matt said, and then Nathan, you have your pitch. I would say what made Man City so good over the last 4 or 5 years is a couple of things. Firstly, their fluidity, the movement. That's what made City so hard to defend against, is that you don't know what player could be where at what point. Yeah. Anyone will pop up. The way they move, the way they interchange was so impressive. I think similar to that, the fact that kind of any of their front six could score.
And they would always switch positions.
If you think about the last 2 seasons where they've won the league, you had Foden, Mahrez, Jesus, Sterling, Gundogan, De Bruyne, Bernardo.
You had at least 5 players on 10 goals.
5 of those players would start every week, and any 5 of those players could score at any given time. Any 5 of those players could be in the 6-yard box and score. Now, the 6-yard box is almost solely reserved to Haaland.
To Erling Braut.
So that if you put like Chelsea did. They almost formed a ring around him so that nothing could get into his feet. And if you do that, suddenly De Bruyne gets the ball and he looks up and he doesn't know what to do. Their wingers kind of get to the byline and cross it in, and it gets headed out, and they don't know what to do. And I know this is obviously, he scored a hat-trick yesterday against Wolves, so this is based on what we've seen mainly since the World Cup. But I think there's an element of predictability about them, which was almost what made Man City so good, was how unpredictable they were before.
I totally agree with that. And again, I think this is not to take away from Haaland. I think he's clearly a phenomenal player, because you don't score 25 goals in 20 games without being brilliant. But he is entirely reliant on service as well. If he's not getting service, he doesn't create anything for himself. And again, he's probably the best finisher in the world in terms of when he gets service. But he's never going to make anything for himself.
I saw Harry Brooks tweet, as we talk about it, name dropping Harry Brooks, saying Haaland first touch finishing, brilliant. Obviously the best in the world, one of the best you've ever seen. Headers, first touch, cross down the box. When he's got time, kind of similar to Son, he can't create an angle.
Yeah.
The way you see Harry Kane can shift it on his right and bang far corner. Haaland is all instinct, and again, he's brilliant at it.
Probably the best instinct in the world.
He can't, because he's such a big bloke as well. He apparently, I've noticed it as well, he finds it hard to shift and then hit it. And it's quite easy for a defender because he doesn't move his feet that quickly to follow his shift. So unless you're literally putting it on a plate for him where he can touch it first time.
If you look at nearly all his 25 goals, I reckon 20 of them are first time.
I think Haaland hasn't made City worse. I think the main thing is why City is underperforming this season is their centre-backs not having Stones or Ruben Diaz a lot of this season. Akanji and Ake are good centre-backs, I think somewhat underrated, but having both of them playing with each other, I think, has really made them.
And do you not find them to be a bit more predictable?
Yeah, but they're still scoring goals. I think that isn't. They're trying to force Haaland in, and again, Chelsea, then they change it, they bring on inverted wingers. But I do think going forward, they are still as productive as they ever were. I've got, in front of me, they've scored 53 goals, the most in the league already this season.
Yeah.
But I don't see,
how many of those goals, especially how many of Haaland's goals,
have been
hat-tricks against Wolves, hat-tricks against Southampton's.
He scored 4 hat-tricks. That's already 12. That's already 12 goals.
Game suddenly coming to mind. I mean, in the Liverpool game, I don't think he scored.
No.
He had an offside goal.
I know he scored a hat-trick against you guys, but you were poor at that point. And then in the more recent one, when you've actually been good.
Yeah, he was so ineffectual. He man marked out the game.
Even against Tottenham in the first half last week, I know he scored in the game against. It looked like I was sat there thinking Kane is showing this guy levels right now.
Yeah.
In that first half, second half, we did a typical 1-half Tottenham where everyone knew that was going to happen. But in the first half, I thought we seem to have done a job of marking Haaland out the game, and Kane is kind of showing his
pretty mediocre
class.
Doing that.
He just needs to sort of pop up once a game.
This is true.
Or I do wonder how much he does offer by sucking in players.
Which I do think, and I think
the intangibles of being on the back defenders.
I mean, he is probably in defenders' heads rent free. If you give him an inch, he'll score.
And I also think why I asked about the Premier League versus Champions League thing is moments are such a thing in the Champions League, and you need someone who just comes up in big moments. He does do. I do as much in the league, but he's always a threat, and you give him a minute and he's going to score in that minute.
I would like to.
And also the City method of old clearly hasn't worked in the Champions League, so they need to try something different.
Yeah, I would like to emphasise that I do think Haaland is probably the best goal scorer I've seen with my own eyes in the Premier League as a goal scorer. And I think if he was at Liverpool, he would look brilliant because they play more. Less fluid, more rigid, but crosses, like crossing. I mean, the Trent and Robbo crosses of prime Trent and Robbo, at least.
Also, even just how chaotic it is, because you have obviously Salah coming in off the right, and whoever it is, whether it's it could be Gakpo, Diaz, Jota coming in off the left. The box is very compacted, and chaos in the box, Haaland thrives in because he just finds the ball and he just
finds the loose ball.
Yeah,
I just do think with the City system, whether it be Kane or whether it even be a false 9-esque João Felix type striker, it might have City top of the league right now.
You just look at when they were playing like Foden, false 9, De Bruyne, false 9.
I think that's unbelievable. And I think a lot of people thought that would happen, and it's really hard to debate because everyone can see how good Haaland is, but everyone can also. It's quite clear City aren't as good as they've usually.
Yeah, and again,
So,
I could be wrong that sometimes they've won 2 leagues in a row. It's very rare you get 3 league wins in a row.
Yeah.
It often requires a dip to then come back up.
Yeah.
Also,
So they definitely are underperforming. In the league.
Also, you've got to give a note to the fact that Man City players tend to take a good year or two to find their down their way in. Haaland's still only 23 or something like. We're treating him kind of like a 28-year-old prime Harry Kane, who's the finished article. He could go up another level.
Probably will.
He could.
Yeah,
he could adapt into
he learns the system. Inside and out.
He could become a Harry Kane-esque, false 9 goal scorer hybrid. For all we know, you can never put that past him. So maybe next year we're going to see Man City properly click with him.
Yeah, listen, when I say that I think he might have made City a bit worse, that's not saying Haaland's a bad player.
Yeah.
He's obviously.
I think you're too much slander for you. I'd like to see you do it.
Honestly, you should have seen me at age 16. I was electric. So if it weren't for that knee injury, it'd be me at City.
I think Haaland will be incredible. Should we? So talking about City underperforming, should we go through who we've got in our top 6?
Yeah, so we've done mid-season predictions
and who we've got relegated.
How it says 20, either 19 or 20 games. That's bang on.
Yeah, we are mid-season now.
Just get out my notes.
So let's go top 4. Should we do top 6?
I think top 7. Get all the
should go?
spots.
Yeah,
let's go top 7.
Who have we all got to win the league?
Arsenal.
Yeah, are we all agreed on that?
Yeah, let's move on.
The title race ended this weekend.
I will say, I'm not. It's going to be the most painful day. I'm not holding out any hope at all. I'm trying to make myself understand it. But City play Arsenal twice. The title race, I don't think it's quite ended yet. If Arsenal, I think, play City at the Emirates in 2 weeks. If they win that game, to me, that's
even if they draw it, I think it's done.
No,
because there's a 6-point gap between them. Again, Arsenal have a game in hand.
I'd like to point out, I saw a tweet today. At this point, 20 games into the 2018-19 season, Liverpool were 11 points clear of Man City, and Man City pulled that back.
Yeah.
Also, 6 games to go, Aguero season. Man United are about 8. Maybe
9 points.
9 points clear. So you can never write off Man City, but
they're very capable of going on a 15-game win streak.
I will say there's a title-winning feeling about this.
Yesterday summed it up. The 89th minute winner with
winning those sorts of games.
The late winners, the decisions, the team cohesion. It all seems quite title-winning.
Looks depressingly fun.
And Ketia stepping up, and Ketia isn't bad striker.
Yeah, it looks like quite enjoyable, and that's not what I like.
And I hate it.
I hate it.
I'm
not enjoying football at all.
I'm quite enjoying it. It could be better, but
right. So
number 2, Man City.
City.
Yeah, we all got.
Yeah, I feel like the top 3 are guaranteed.
United 3.
United 3rd, and then
I've got Newcastle.
I've got Newcastle.
Look
at that, we're in agreement on the top 4.
I think this is where it gets interesting.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I think top 7's good.
I've got Spurs in 5th.
I've got Liverpool.
I've got Chelsea.
Oh, you think Chelsea are going to?
Different.
It's a rogue shout. I think Graham Potter is a brilliant manager.
I
stand by that to this day, no matter the fact that
I think he's a good manager.
I think he's brilliant. I think Madrid. I know it was 20 minutes. Madrid looked brilliant against.
Looks amazing
against Liverpool the other day. I think he could have a real impact. I think Reece James is going to come back to fitness. I think Chilwell will probably come back to fitness. Kante might stay fit, maybe. No, I think there's enough there that Chelsea will probably go on a bit of a run. I don't see Tottenham I see Tottenham only progressively slipping down the table as the season goes on at this rate. And Liverpool seem to me like they're a bit stale. There's no new blood there that I can see charging Liverpool up the table. Whereas Chelsea have got some intangibles like injuries and stuff, which could just give them a momentum shift.
I do agree.
And could get them going up the table.
You get between Chelsea in 10th and Spurs in 5th. There's 5 points.
I think they make up a 5-point gap on us.
That is not a big gap. There are also a lot of teams in there.
So I'm going to be honest. I think I've been somewhat convinced. So I think it could be Chelsea 5th. I've been quite convinced.
Very good. I think. I just say a man. There's nothing more dangerous than a man with nothing to lose.
No, but it's a man who doesn't want to be that. Like, do you know how hard it is for players to motivate themselves for a manager?
Who doesn't care?
I think
I'm feeling very, very pessimistic.
I think the big difference between Liverpool, Chelsea, and Tottenham right now is Tottenham are very much at the end of a small cycle, a small Conte cycle. Kane and Lloris are leaving, Conte's leaving. It seems like there's not much to motivate yourself for. Liverpool, it all seems to gone a little bit stale under Jurgen Klopp. Again, Gakpo hasn't 3 games in, admittedly, but I haven't been impressed with him. I don't think he's going to have that much of an impact. Chelsea, whereas, are right at the beginning of what could be a new, is a new era. Loads of, we'll give a quick word to the investment.
Too many signings.
But at the same time, we're all laughing how much money they're spending. These are good young players. There's a lot of talented, energetic, driven young players coming in.
Yeah.
Who will probably, Mudryk emphasised it the other day. You come in, they've got a point to prove. They're big price tags. Potter's got a point to prove. I think Chelsea are building something. I like Potter. I think that we'll start to see the fruits of that over the next few months. But I also said Manuel Neuer will be player of the year.
Speaking of that, actually, my predictions are pretty good. I said Messi player of the tournament, Argentina.
Should I get sorry, we're going off topic. Should I get the prediction?
Louis may have dropped the biggest stinker.
I think I am great. I've only got mine, but I've got winner Germany. Awful, went out in the group stages. Runner up France, so I've done well there. Dark horses Uruguay, out in the group stages. Top scorer Mbappe, that's right.
Correct.
Yeah. And Manuel Neuer, player of the tournament.
I had Argentina winners, Messi player of the tournament, which is correct.
Yeah, done well there.
I had Sterling top goal scorer, which he left the camp. That's not my fault. No robbery. Sterling's winning the golden ball.
It was a bit weird that he went home for that. Personally,
maybe there's some violence.
We can have another situation. It must have been quite.
I knew he wasn't going to get in over Rashford, so
Rashford didn't even get in over.
Rashford didn't get over everything.
Off the bench.
And then I had golden boot. And then what was the other one? I think Uruguay, my dark horse as well.
I think I had Brazil to win. Mbappe top goal scorer. Oh, Richarlison and Davinson Sanchez both starting because we got. If it's Richarlison, Kane, Kulusevski, I'm here for that.
Yeah, but
Davinson Sanchez, not sure what he's doing.
They're dropping Eric Dyer or
surely you're playing Richarlison in off the left.
I'd hope so.
Unless you're resting Kane.
Unless Kulusevski.
Unless Kane is refusing to play because he wants to engineer a move.
Oh, this is funny. Sorry, I've just gone on Twitter, Mitch, and we've got some interesting news here.
Right.
West Ham new signing Danny Ings has sustained a knee injury and is facing several weeks out.
I would love to see West Ham go down.
Yeah, all right. So
who have we got?
Should we go
6th and 7th?
6th. I've got Spurs at 6, Brighton at 7. But I'm going to swap Liverpool and Chelsea on mine. But I think you're right. Liverpool stale. I think Chelsea could get 5th.
I've got Brighton 6th, Liverpool 7th. So that means
no one else.
And I did actually put Chelsea in 5th.
So top Spur are gone.
I put Chelsea.
There is a good chance.
Spurs have gone down to 8th.
Top Spur could go 10th.
I've got Liverpool 6th, top 7th. So I think I've just gone.
Yeah, do you know what? I want Spurs down, Brighton 6.
It's the easy option. I like Brighton a lot. We'll give a quick word to them.
Deserve did a fantastic job.
Matoma, he's one of those.
Got a dissertation for beating his man.
Yeah. He wrote a dissertation on beating his man. Why can't I write a dissertation on beating my man?
Why not turning up to intramural the downs with a GoPro on your heads?
Maybe because I don't know much about how to beat my man, but
I can do a dissertation on getting.
You strike me as a no-nonsense centre half.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably about accurate. We did 8-a-side last year. We kept a lot of clean sheets. Didn't score a lot of goals. We called ourselves Burnley. So, so mine's pretty standard. I think Chelsea, Liverpool, and Tottenham are all quite interchangeable. I think we're all equally as in a bad situation, other than the fact Chelsea are looking up rather than down.
Yeah. True.
Who have we got relegated?
I've got Everton, Southampton, Bournemouth as mine.
I've got
Forest. No order.
No order, but I've got Forest, Bournemouth, Southampton.
I've got Wolves, Southampton, Bournemouth. I think Wolves go down.
I think
we're all in agreement on Southampton.
Southampton, Bournemouth.
So I think Southampton and Bournemouth. Bournemouth aren't nailed on. Neither of them are nailed on.
Also, the thing with me, I think Everton could change depending on who they get in as manager.
See, I think Everton. Maybe it's just a case of I just can't see Everton.
It doesn't work in my head. It doesn't work.
They've been around for way too long. It doesn't seem right. They are quite bad though.
They really are.
It's definitely not impossible. They are really bad.
So bad, but Frank's gone apparently.
Yeah,
Frank is a dreadful manager.
So I think Dyche is in need of a job.
It's got to be Dyche. Someone's got to get Dyche.
Really?
And they've already got Dwight McNeil. They've already got.
Also, someone like Big Sam is someone you're going to get 6 months sack.
Yeah.
A month into next season. Dyche will do a few years.
Build an Everton empire.
Dyche could. easily get Everton back to mid-table, pushing
Yeah.
the European places.
Yeah.
If you could do mid-table with Burnley, like
He was
as long
got
as he
Europa League
did.
with
Also,
Burnley.
Yeah.
Also, I'd
exactly.
say the squad is kind of built for a dicey takeover. You've got Cody and Tarkovsky.
DCL.
Yeah.
You've got DCL headers.
He's fit.
Neil Moore seems like
Dwight McNeil,
Dwight
again,
McNeil's
carrying
already
I'm
on.
not sure there's enough British people in there.
You got James Garner.
Damari
You got Gordon. If Gordon doesn't stink of Dyche,
Yeah.
Gordon
look
a
at him.
little bit.
I think there's a
he's
good.
he's not flaring.
I think there's a good 4-4-2 Dyche ball team to
Yeah.
be built there. I would
I
say,
agree.
and I think that if they don't do that, I'd be surprised.
Mm.
I'd be surprised. Forest, I've gone for because I think I've said it all season, and maybe it's a point of pride now that I can't go back on myself. But I don't see how you can sign you can sign a whole new squad and stay in the Premier League.
It's wild.
It was just so wild what they did in the summer. I don't think they got the goals in them.
They've just added Chris Wood to this team. You got to remember.
I missed that completely. That's
Just
good
like-
signing.
He's
Good
on
signing.
loan. He's on loan from Newcastle.
Yeah,
That's a
Chris
great
was good signing. I think they'll do enough. I think got enough quality.
Maybe I was debating Forest or Wolves, so if not Forest, I would go Wolves.
I don't see how Forest can add those players into the team and then get relegated. I feel like the players they have, you should just be able to let them go out on
And
their
do
own.
enough, do enough to not get
Yeah.
relegated.
And they should beat sort of.
Do you think if Wolves were to go down, they would be the best squad ever to get relegated?
Possibly.
Lots of good players.
There's a lot of them.
But yeah, I can't. I don't know who's relegated in 1996. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's only of our
yeah.
lifetime. I
From
can't
what I
think
can
of any
remember.
better. There was that Fulham squad that spent a lot of money.
Yeah.
And got relegated. They had like Andre Schürrle, kind of a lot of those lot.
No one thinks West Ham go down. I think they.
I hope they do. I would love
it.
to see them go
Love
down.
it.
But I think Ings, if he's not out for that long, will be enough to keep.
I also feel like West Ham, they've been here before. They do
Yeah,
this
they do this
quite
quite a lot.
haven't they?
And I think Moyes he won't get sacked. I think he can sort of.
I mean, look, they're already.
Wait it out.
Look, I'm just looking at the table now. I think Leeds and Leicester are only 1 point. I mean, look, there are 14 down. You've got Leicester on 18 points, Leeds on 18 points, but have played a game less than everyone else. West Ham on 18 points, Wolves on 17, Bournemouth on 17, Everton on 15, and Southampton on 15. And I think out of those teams, I do just think West Ham have got the most.
Got best team.
Best team. I think they'll be fine.
They've got Lucas Paqueta, Ings, Skamaka. They've got
They've got
Bowen,
good
Bowen's
players.
just other
Bowen
player.
seems
Ben
to be
Rama,
Declan
Declan Rice. I mean, yeah.
Rice.
Everyone
They-
stopped talking about it.
That would be a
Since
disgusting
West Ham
thing to go
stopped
down. Like, if that went down,
That would be the
Moyes
best
should
team to
be
go down.
executed.
Well, fact, if Wolves go down, it'd be Adama Traore's second relegation.
Really?
He got relegated. He was in the Villa squad. They got relegated in 15-16.
Did he not get relegated with Middlesbrough as well?
I think he was just in the Championship with Middlesbrough. Did he get relegated
I
with
swear he
Middlesbrough?
got
Played for
relegated
Middlesbrough.
with
Was he in the Prem?
I remember him
so.
tearing
It'll be his
Spurs.
Yeah,
It'll be his third relegation.
Is that a record?
So surely there's some players.
Surely there's
Surely there's someone who stayed with a yo-yo team for quite a long
someone
time.
Norwich or
Yeah, someone who stayed there
yeah.
for like 10 years.
someone
like,
could be in a Fulham
Yeah.
for a few years.
Yeah.
So I was just looking through the 15-16 Villa squad that got relegated. Thinking about best ever relegated teams. I don't know.
I think whatever happens, you're going to have probably two quite established Premier League teams go down.
Go down, yeah, it's
I
true.
think
Yeah.
Southampton, they feel
Southampton,
like
what a loss.
they've run their course, haven't they? in the
Hasn't
Premier
it
League?
all hung on for a long time and then
It's
obviously
just
gone down?
it's a painfully average squad as well. You look
Yeah.
at it, James Ward-Prowse.
Just adds 10 goals from free kicks.
No.
Where does he go if they go down?
Could go and like a lot of people take him just. He doesn't offer that much aside from his set pieces.
I don't
truthfully.
know.
He's finally
He's a
plays,
good ball striker.
I've always rated
He's a good
Ward-Prowse
ball
as
striker.
He links up well as well.
I'm going to be honest. He gives me a little bit of a better. Like he is better, but Tom Huddleston's slight vibes in the phenomenal ball striker. Like great technique and hit a great pass.
He works
But
hard,
doesn't
though.
doesn't insert
Yeah.
himself on it. Doesn't insert himself in a game.
I
in
can
the same
really
way.
see him at West Ham for some reason.
Yeah,
I think he's a
I'd
West
say.
Ham kind of signing.
I
They've got a lot
felt
of
pretty
big
sure
players.
we were going to. Again, this is a fucking random kind of link that I have. Like, my dad's best mate is mates with Jonathan Barnett. He's like Bale's agent, big
yeah,
agent. I was saying apparently once we got UCL, he was meant to be our big marquee signing.
Well, there was
and Southampton were just not willing to.
Yeah,
they
feels a bit
were
late
like
for that.
80 mil.
Feels a bit late for that now.
It was Gary Jacob, I think, who said that in the past we have tried signing Ward-Prowse. Maybe it's Ali Gold.
Yeah.
We've tried signing Ward-Prowse on multiple occasions. on that question, as you say, did you know Bale was coming back to Spurs before Bale came back to Spurs? If you knew that, if you got a link to his agent?
No, and I heard it was likely. Again, it's a link through a link, so everything's a bit delayed, obviously. It's like when my dad's his best mate, and then my dad's best mate has to have seen this fella.
Yeah.
But I knew like it was more. It's all I remember hearing was like it's more likely this summer than it has been. Like it's not just the talk that was every summer.
You need to start chatting to him more. We can get some exclusives.
Yeah, Jonathan Barnett on the Burst Board.
I feel like Jonathan Barnett. I swear he doesn't have many big players other than.
They've got a lot now.
So
it may not be him, but IGN is now a company, right? And they are the intersection called Interstellar, and they're the biggest sports agent in the world now.
Okay.
They're like the whole company. They've been taken over by a US company, and they've merged, and it's just massive now. But I think Barnett himself doesn't have that.
He always was quite a vocal agent, wasn't he? He used to do a lot of interviews about Bale. I remember him slagging off Mourinho a couple of times when Bale came back.
In fact, I really wish that Bale season wasn't in the COVID season.
I watched when Bale retired. I watched a couple of videos and made quite emotional that we didn't see more of him in that COVID season.
Right, I think
that
I'm
was
going
the
to change the shift.
That was the Burst Spurs cast. Thank you
There's
very
a
much.
little bit of other things in there. Thanks, guys. We can watch this back later at another day because it's saying.
Oh wow! We're gonna go watch Spurs after talking about Spurs for an hour.